This is The Party with Serene
and Pearl.
Get it right, Poddy.
We're rolling. Guys, we're here. Hey, are you still videotaping? They can't see the intro, can they?
Yeah.
This is a top secret intro. You want to see the intro?
Secret.
You want me to give it to you?
Hey, take a deep breath and do it really good. You're on stage now, Dan.
You're listening to the Trim Healthy Podcast with Serene Pearl, and I'm the voice, Danny Valdez.
He's got a lot of confidence today.
The voice of America, I thought it was.
He just called himself the voice before we started this party.
He says, I'm the voice of America.
The voice of America.
He said it wasn't conceited either. So.
Hey, we're glad you tuned in. It's another banger day here in Tennessee on the hilltop. And yeah, the weather's nice. What are you going to do about it? You know, some of you are in Canada and it's disgusting.
Oh, no. How much?
That's mean.
That's jolly
Some
mean.
people
You're not
love.
the voice of Canada now.
You guys, you didn't let me finish.
Okay,
you didn't let me
finish.
Because for some people, the weather is bad where they are. And I'm saying, even though the weather is disgusting.
What if it's nice? I've been to many places in Canada, and this time of year, it is lovely. I dare say probably even more lovelier than here. Get that out of my face, Serene. Turn it off now. Bye, Hunter. She's going.
Yeah. So
You're just being mean.
because this isn't a video primary podcast, we're going to keep saying things. Girls, can we start the show?
We've already been started. This is on YouTube right now.
I feel like I'm pulling all the weight, though.
Oh, okay.
You're meant to pull the
All right,
beginning.
so
That's what we pay you for.
Okay.
Yeah, then you fade out.
We don't pay you to just have that cool high hair.
To just look this cool.
Hey, so I got 2 questions in, and I'm trying to choose right now which one to tackle because they're good ones. Serene, get that out of my face. So for those of you, I'm sorry, who are not watching, but you're listening, she's putting a phone, she's doing a live, and it's very close to my
I feel like
face.
it's after the swimming pool hang, and I'm not fully dressed yet. Serene, could you?
Yeah.
Bye, Hunters. They're being rude to you. But I'm
I
your
love
real
you,
friend.
Hunters, but I'm just, right now, as I'm
I'm
umming and ahhing, I'm figuring out which question they're both so good, and they're both going to take a full potty. Yikes.
Yikes.
Okay. The first one is just, if I can't choose, I have to go with the first one that's here, right?
Jeepers creepers.
It's from Tiffany. She says, my walk with THM, stands for Trim Healthy Mama,
Okay.
is ebbing and flowing right now.
Yeah.
Jenny,
Me
why
too.
am I doing your job?
No, it's upsetting.
Okay,
Actually,
here you go.
and I thought about it, but I didn't want to do the full reach for your laptop.
From Tiffany.
But I'll read
Oopsie.
it.
Oops. Earn your keep.
Yeah, I got to do something.
Get off your phone.
I'm doing the right thing.
I got to do something, I guess, other than
come.
completely hold down the energy of this show. Are we just reading right here on this?
Tiffany.
From Tiffany, my walk with THM is ebbing and flowing right now. I'm being more relaxed with, excuse me, while
Do you burp?
The voice of America just burped.
podcast ever.
No, we've had other bad ones.
the voice of
There's a lot
America.
of ones to contend with that are bad.
No, we are. Not this is.
We are the worst podcasters.
The poddy is worse.
Girls,
than this podcast.
Girls,
ever.
Tiffany is being more relaxed with off-plan foods only because I've transferred into her voice now. I'm not making time for me to plan my meals. I caught myself really thinking yesterday about leaving THM and letting myself go back to eating whatever I want and just make myself work out more. But I know deep down that this won't work for me. My body cannot handle the white flours and sugars that are considered off-plan. So I'm pulling myself up by my bootstraps and making myself sit down after I eat my meal on my newly set up back porch. I feel like that was TMI, but I'll grab my THM notebook and plan every single meal out for the week. It's graduation week for my oldest, and I'm turning 43 on Saturday. A little more TMI.
We like
So-
TMI, Dan.
The
This
woman
is what
like
women
the
do.
details.
Oh, this
I
is what
only
you
feel
do?
I knew Tiffany at the
I
end.
give a whole lot more details than that. Believe me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in my head.
Your male brain, but
I'm
just
wanting a
shove your male brain
male-centric-
aside. And the woman listened to this podcast, so keep going.
It's only 17 men, Dan.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll read the whole paragraph. Chapter. So she's turning 43 on Saturday, so lots of emotions will be felt.
But that's a very important thing to know the age. I'm
Mhm.
glad she shared that. That's good. Keep going.
Okay. Why emotions around 43 though?
Her son's graduating. She's in her 40s. It's a time of change of life. It's also
Okay.
perimenopause.
Okay.
And there are emotions.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to feel the emotions, not eat them. I love that. How's your walk with THM? What's your favorite thing on your plan that's keeping you coming back every day?
Yeah, that was a Facebook question to the group. And so I saw this
Do I
question.
give this back or keep
You
this?
give it to me because
Well, there's another question.
No, I need to respond to the Tiffany first, and then I give back to you.
Okay, this is
If we do not make this Tiffany's response a whole party, then you can read the next one.
fair.
But Serene, since I can tell, have a coffee personality right now
Yeah.
because you had coffee and you shouldn't,
And I
you
never
react
do
badly
have
to
coffee.
it.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer Tiffany because I fear.
Well, you should answer Tiffany.
I
because
fear
this
you're
is your-
going to be very aggressive with your answer.
Yeah. I was getting ready to.
I
grab
felt
by
the
scruff.
aggression earlier.
I did. When
sure.
she said, I want to leave
In love,
THM.
in love, I wanted to
You
just
felt
grab her by the
coffee.
scruff.
Yeah. Okay.
Shove her against the blue butterfly.
You don't know what's good for you, Tiffany. Okay, so there were some things that I wanted to respond to. And that was when you said, I caught myself really thinking yesterday about leaving THM and letting myself go back to eating whatever I want and just make myself work out more. But I know deep down that this is what works for me. My body can't handle the white flours and sugars that are considered off plan. So let's go deeper into that. Because when we have these thoughts and thoughts that are not good for us, we have to be armed with knowledge because it's knowledge that pulls us out. Now, you did have some knowledge, Tiffany, because you said my body cannot handle the white flours and sugars that are considered off plan. But I want to bring a deeper knowledge so that next time you have the thoughts, and you will have the thoughts because we all have the thoughts. I had a thought this morning that I didn't ever want to work out again in my life.
Oh, did you have that thought during the workout?
Right as I started, yeah. And then in the midst
You
of
don't
some
think
reps,
during the workout.
I was like, yuck. Just yuck.
Yes.
Why should I do this? Other people don't have to do this.
It's sufficient. Yes, they do, but sufficient the day as the workout thereof.
Yes.
You know, you don't think of the next workout. You don't think of the fact that you have to do this for the rest of your life till you're 95.
And it was, you know what
don't
I did?
think that.
I did
You
a
just do it.
20-minute workout. It wasn't that.
Do you know what you
afterwards,
do?
I felt like the most fantastic woman on top of the world. It was 20 minutes of my life. I could have sat there scrolling on Jolly Facebook.
Do you know what I tell myself? It's a very important thing, and I know it's going to be sidetracking, but we've been told that we are pubescent co-hosts to you that are ADD.
Okay, can I clarify
I have
that?
to fill
Danny, I
those
need to let
shoes.
you in on some things. So
Let me notebook in my mind what I want to say.
I told Serene
after this rabbit trail.
and you know, we get a lot of really, really, really kind, nice, good feedback. Like
never change. We love you
some-
the way you are.
Some women really love this podcast, meaning they keep tuning in.
Do you
Daddy,
trust it when
they
they're
loved you. They love
Yeah.
no. We get so much amazing feedback. Like it just makes me cry sometimes. But sometimes I remember the not so nice ones. So we
Yeah.
got a recent comment that says, I tried to listen to your potty. It was the one on the why do some foods cause such gas? Remember
Yeah.
gas?
our best podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
somebody
Yeah.
came up to me and said that changed their life. Like
Yeah.
they were
Okay,
changed.
well,
I
They
got
were
a
comment,
enlightened.
And she
by
said,
it.
I was interested in the subject matter until I turned it on and heard you and your two prepubescent podcast hosts.
Hey, boo, yeah.
So I told Serene,
I love to be prepubescent.
Without puberty.
I said, you can't even punch.
I like keep getting further.
This is really sidetracked for poor Tiffany, but I wanted to let you know that you're prepubescent, Danny.
Yeah, what else did she say? I like this.
She just said that we ramble, don't stick to the point, and,
And that we are
it's still
confirmed
basically a waste
Not
of time.
just you, but Pearl and I also confirmed ADD.
No, that was another one.
There was
Serene.
another one.
Yeah, that was another one. And that was actually a kind one.
Could I get the
So
full?
we were diagnosed with ADD, and I said, well, don't worry, Danny is. He's diagnosed, but we're not. So
Could I get the full? I want to hear her words about the
But I'm
prepubescent.
46.
That's-
I'm so happy to be prepubescent. Like,
what a
how
compliment.
fun. Like, I'm just being
well,
given
you
more
know what?
years.
I think poop and gas humor is funny to me. And I
What if
don't
she
want
was-
to take life too seriously.
She was maybe joking.
No, she was very serious, Danny.
She was frustrated.
very serious.
Well, what was the end though? What was,
But no, see,
that
not
was the
everyone.
end.
Not everyone should listen to our party. Not everyone should.
yeah.
It just
and if they
shouldn't.
don't want to, they will find a nice, very proper
proper
podcast out there.
Post-pubescent.
Yeah, they can find their post-pubescent
This
body.
is not a post-pubescent potty.
But hey, I bookmarked what I wanted to say before I said I was going to fill the shoes of a prepubescent host. But I wanted to say that in the workout, you don't think of the reps that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. You think of all the hours you're going to sit that day and how you're going to feel great sitting because you did this quick 20 minutes.
Yeah. It makes the sit so much sweeter when you've worked out. You get to sit.
But you're not allowed to think of future reps when you're in a rep. You think of the future sitting. That's what you do.
I think I like the mind game, but when I'm doing which my new thing's Mike Tyson push-ups.
Are you really?
And by my new thing, I mean once ever in the past 3 months. But
when he ran on the beach.
It's
okay, let's just go there and be the rabbit trailers of the century. We went somewhere with Leslie Pop's Bellface,
New Jersey,
and good old John here, producer John, and we all went on a trip together for the show, the Unshow, right? Because this whole party started as an Unshow. We talk about nothing.
It's a radio show.
Yeah. So of course we meant to rabbit trail. That was the foundations of this. But anyway, he decided to go on a run. He felt the need to exercise on our vacay.
He said, "I'm a runner."
He said, he woke up and said, "I'm a runner." He brought himself these green swish shorts.
Nylons. Tiny shorts.
Tiny nylon ones. And he let his little bare white chest be shown to the world. And he ran along the beach with his nose facing more north than the moon.
And he beat everybody.
In his earpods was the what is that that
Rocky?
The one that has the Chariots of Fire.
Yeah,
the Chariots of Fire song. I know that was in his ears.
And he beat everyone on the beach, and his chest was sticking so straight out. And you were the fast, and you were the runner.
Swish.
You were the runner of America.
When I saw you two ahead of me, I went, it's time to kick it into gear because these girls are serious about their work ins. And so I jogged extra fast past you. And I remember cracking one of my earbuds open just enough to be like, "Hey, girls," and then put it back in.
What you did.
And then zoom on past. I remember I was having a full-blown midlife crisis.
Yeah, so he woke up as Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, you woke up as a runner that day.
I was trying to
But
fix
I got to get back to Tiffany because that right there was was the perfect example of prepubescent.
Yeah.
That's why some people think our show is ADD, I guess.
I know, but I'm trying to fill the shoes today. Pops is going to keep filling it.
You want the mic?
Pops, come on.
I have to continue the
with your
rabbit trail
ADD self.
That
You
was
look
such
so
a
good
nice
day one, Pops.
I know. And Madison Reed today. Such a flashback of memory there. So funny. And on the absolute opposite end of Danny and his running shorts, I had gone to check on the book signing place or something. Basically, long story short, Danny had left the place that we were staying and so had I. And then 2 or 3 hours later, we got back to Serene and Pearl and they were so sad.
I remember that.
We're in
because they missed their husbands and their children.
Yeah.
And Danny and I had
we were with
left
you
them
and Danny, and we were like, "Why are we with these people?"
and they were like in their like pajamas, wrapped in their like duvets.
I remember that. I
in
remember
the,
you got in our face
bed,
too.
And I was like, "What's wrong with you?"
We were out to pull up beach and pull up there. We refused to go to the beach.
Oh man, it was so we were literally in paradise, and you just were so sad because we'd left you and you weren't going outside.
Yeah, because we got in our face too, and you're like, "You're having a holiday with the Belle and the Dan. You get your acts together."
We did. We got our acts together. We needed a good mother lecture from Leslie Pop. So back to you, Tiffany. I am sorry about that prepubescent little trail there.
This show's not for old hags.
Ooh, ow.
Oh.
It's not. If you're an
Are
old
we
hag,
deleting
there are
that,
some
though?
people younger
That's
than me
not-
that are more mature and they're post-pubescent.
It's just that some people don't get. See, you were Danny. You were retaliating. You got hurt,
Yeah.
and so you retaliated.
I
with a
actually
hurt.
had the phrase "old hag" for like 5
That
minutes.
was not kind. I want you to apologize right now
It's
because
not gonna
we
happen.
respond with kindness.
Danny,
She's an old
Danny
hag.
Val-
No,
Valdez.
she's not. Hey, whose podcast do you say it is all the time?
It's yours.
Okay, I want an apology. We'll
What's
wait.
her name?
I don't know, but
What's her
she'll
first
never
and last
listen
name?
again. She's not
Tell me her
listening,
first
but
and
we
last
still
name.
have to have it.
Give me
Say,
her middle
dear
name.
lady who called me a prepubescent co-host.
I just need her first, middle, initial, and last name.
Leslie is Bill. You. This was your chance, Danny.
But
You
think
shall
about
go
it.
to your grave
Okay,
thinking
but
I
think
had
about
a chance to apologize and I didn't.
if she's
bitterness is not of the Lord, Dan.
if she's still listening though.
She's not, but still, just do it anyway.
All right. Dear, young,
It's not an
moderately
apology.
attractive.
No, you've just gone down the wrong track. I'm getting back to Tiffany. You're not obeying me.
I'll do it. Dear, not terribly old just a moderate aged,
Also, there is this old ageism thing
Great.
going on here.
great person
Yeah.
with great taste in
Hey, look,
entertainment.
my mum is 83 and she loved our Fluff podcast.
Yeah.
So it's not about age. It's just about maturity. And this lady's more mature than us. And that's okay. I don't want to be mature.
Okay. Dear,
just call her by
Just say sorry
Okay,
and
okay.
mean it.
Sorry.
Okay,
Goodness,
okay.
does Lisa
I'll-
have to put up with this?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes. Dear mature,
Okay.
more mature than us,
Yeah.
you know? Person.
Yep.
You are you have your tastes and you are entitled to them.
Yes.
Bless you.
I'm what? There's a word.
I-
S-
am sorry that I said that to you.
Thank you.
well done, Ben.
Well done. When you, I want Serena, I want you to help me with what happens when you go back to just eating whatever, because there's repercussions, Tiffany, that I want you to keep in the back of your head. And once you know them, and once that knowledge is deep inside your cells, it will pop up and it will prevent you from doing it. Because, I love that scripture in the Bible stream. What does it say? It says, with all thy might get understanding.
Right.
And then, and I'm paraphrasing and pluralizing it, and then something like, and then when you have understanding, get more of it, and then get some more, and then get wisdom.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
Pearl's
that's a great
paraphrase.
paraphrase.
But it was really like, get understanding.
Yeah.
And that's what we all have to do, because without understanding, we will go back to doing whatever our thoughts and
Because
body
it's not
says for us
just about
to do.
eating the whatever, like eating the Chick-fil-A. It's Chick-fil-A, bless their hearts. They have some good things
And
there.
they have grilled chicken nuggets.
and it's twice blessed by the Lord.
Right,
Christian
twice
chicken.
blessed. Twice
Yeah,
blessed.
twice blessed.
And I like their Southwestern salad.
Yeah, but say it's their sandwich.
So it's
Say
the sandwich and fries, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not just going back and eating that. There is understanding. There needs to be understanding of what that does to the body.
Okay. So let's talk about what that does to the body. When you go, and I don't know if you've had a history of any yo-yo dieting, Tiffany. I don't know if you had a history of gaining weight, losing it, doing extreme things to lose it. And then when you lose it, you see your metabolism slows down. Because every time, if in the past you have dieted, and I've got my fingers up in quotes here, you're lowering your leptin levels. That lowers your metabolism. You're lowering your thyroid levels. That lowers your metabolism. You lower your lean body mass. Anytime you diet with insufficient protein, and most diets are insufficient because it's a lack of calories and such.
You missed the fun, Ben. Come in.
Yeah, you missed.
He was trying to come in all quiet, but we're just going to make him known. Ben, welcome.
So anyway, you are lowering your lean body mass, which is brutal for your metabolism. It's like the worst thing you can do. You get rid of muscle, you get rid of your metabolism. Okay, so if you've had a history of that, when you go back once again, if there is ever a time you go back to just eating whatever you want, Tiffany, there's something that happens to your fat cells. They start putting, it's like an injury to them. And so when you gain the weight back, and that will happen if you're eating whatever, of course, because the whatever diet is the standard American diet. It makes most people gain weight. It's calorie abusive. It's
not a
trans
normal
fat
diet.
abusive. It's sugar abusive. It's actually an extreme. It's
Actually,
not normal.
can I just rabbit trail here for a second? It's not normal. People think, I don't want to have to eat health food.
I don't have
I
to
don't want to
think
eat
about
a
it.
special diet. I don't want to think about it. I just want to eat. Well, we don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that. What's the word?
Luxury.
Luxury.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. I need to take more thyroid. We don't have that luxury these days because there is actually food out there that's not food. Food to buy, food to purchase out there that was never at the market,
Yeah.
you
Or
know,
grown in
hundreds
the
of years ago.
Thy ground.
Right. It's not even food. It's poison. It's stuff you can't pronounce. It's devitalized. It's perverted. It's not food. It's poison. And so, we have to think these days.
We have to.
think.
But anyway, let me get back to what happens. Okay. So if you've had a history of this and then you go back, right? And so you're going to eat whatever, which means sugar and divided stuff. Okay. Your fat cells are going to become inflamed. And there's an inflammation that happens. And so what happens is something that's called your extracellular matrix and your fat cells, they start putting Band-Aids. I share this in our new book, Trim Healthy Wisdom. They start putting Band-Aids on your fat cells. And it's what your body does. It's like you have an owie, right? And so, your body's like, you poor you, here's a little Band-Aid, right? On your fat cell. And it starts to thicken your fat cells as they get inflamed. with all that toxic food. So scientists were looking at that fat and they thought, oh no, this is really bad. People should not eat junk food and put on weight. This is really bad because when your fat cells get this thicker extracellular matrix, they stiffen and they cannot release fat cells. They cannot release fat. So you know how we all eat fat, right? In our S meals, we eat fat and then it has to come out of our stores. Once our carbs are eaten out, it will go back into the bloodstream to be used as fuel. If we do S&E meals, you know. But your fat cells, when they're too thick, they can't even release their fat. And so then another thing happened. Scientists looked at it and they said, well, let's see what happens when you lose weight. Surely that's going to be good, right? Well, they found out, especially with fast weight loss, it's actually brutal for the body, and the fat cells get more owie Band-Aids on them because the body sees the fast weight loss as an injury. And so it's like, oh, more Band-Aids for you, more Band-Aids for you. And the cycle of yo-yoing caused just these thick fat cells that they're stiff. They don't act normally. They're not pliable. So Tiffany, that's a really good thing to think of. It's like, you know, what do you call it, Serene? A memory peg.
Yeah.
Think of these little fat cells with all these bandages on top of one another. Whenever you do something that is not sustainable, whenever you go off and say, well, I don't care anymore, and you know what's going to happen, right? There will be weight gain. Then you're going to think, oh no, what have I done? 6 months, you're going to look at yourself and like, I don't feel comfortable. I feel rotten. Let me do something. And so you're going to choose something that is extreme. It's because you've got yourself into the state. You're like, okay, don't worry about Trim Healthy Mama. I need something quick. You know, what's going to help me? Oh, I'll choose intermittent fasting. I'll choose carnivore, something. I need to shred this stuff off. And then your fat cells get injured once again. So it's the slow plod. It's the good food. It's the unsexy way to just get to that healthy weight. We're not looking for fast amounts of pounds every week or every month. That is dangerous. That causes this injury to your fat cells.
Yeah.
And so I want you to think of that. And what are some other things that happen, you know, when you go to just eating whatever? Well, it really affects your hormones.
Yes, it does.
Because of blood sugar, right, Serene?
Yeah. Your hormones are just absolutely topsy-turvied and undone with the sugar and the inflammation.
Yes, and that's why, you know, so many women, it's not always why, but it's a huge, huge reason why there's so much PCOS. 1 out of every 10 women in this country
how a lot of people,
have PCOS.
when they've come to Trim Healthy that have had infertility problems, they're like, oh, Serene and Pearl, I was able to finally get pregnant and have a baby.
Yes.
And so because they brought their sugars down and controlled their sugars. And so their hormones just really came into line once their sugars got stabilized.
Okay, so now I want to look at some of the other things that. So when your sugar gets elevated, it affects your adrenaline, it affects your cortisol levels. You know, your adrenals get stressed. You can walk into adrenal fatigue, all of those sorts of things, and it affects your sex hormones, as we just talked about. It affects jolly everything. Your inflammation levels, all your markers for disease go up. So, you know, when you think about what am I just going to eat whatever?
So it's going to, of course it's going to affect
How about
everything.
you think, well, it's really like thinking, how can I make my disease risk go up?
Yeah.
And long term,
eating whatever is making my disease risk go up.
And long term, it's actually harder work.
Yeah. It
Way
is harder work, Danny.
Because I would always think when I first started trying to change the way I eat was that I don't want to think about it and do this work. You know, and like life's short and anyways, and I'm busy and I got 4 kids after all, which means nothing to you guys. But, you know, for a lot of people, everybody looks at me shocked out there in
normal land.
In the city.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was my thing. But I started discovering that thinking a little bit every day was actually much less work than the spiking and crashing lifestyle I was living and what it did relationally. And I mean, you could go through probably at least 16 points of your life that is going to get trashed. Not even your body, just outside of your body, the other things, your mindset, your problem solving abilities. I was an up and down neurotic person. So I feel, I mean, now it's sort of, I'm used to it, but I've just never been more stable.
Do you feel like you apologize better now?
No, I'm still very prepubescent in my ability to apologize.
Yes, but you
we
have
just kind
come
of proved
so
it today
far.
that we are, right?
You were the terrible 2s before, right?
Now
Yeah.
he's
So at
5.
least you're prepubescent.
No, I will poop my pants on camera.
Like, he's come so far, Pearl. We have to remember
And it's her
from
fault.
whence he came.
But in terms of like, seriously, like family relationships, money, I'm a much more like sober person. I'm a level person when it comes to like discipline, focusing on work, not getting too excited about some whim idea that I need to go chase into poverty. You know what I mean? So like there is so many benefits of stability. And for me, I'm always just thinking meat, vegetables, meat, potatoes, and
because
vegetables.
you need your healthy carb.
Well,
yeah.
he just
Yeah.
hit it on the head there, Pearl. And that's what you and I have been talking. We even talked to our hunters about it, Treasure Hunters, which is an online group we have. But, oh my goodness, we were saying there are so many foods that we have decided are like going to put our game into high gear for, now we're perimenopause, menopause. We're just like, okay, we have a vision, we have a goal, we have our mind on where we want our body to be.
Which is
as
to
we-
age fantastically.
Right. We're going to be contending for muscle. We're going to be tending for collagen. We're going to be tending for vitality. And so we have put our mind and our sights on certain foods. They're going to get us there, help us to get us there. And so it's the protein, right? Really good quality sources of protein that are high in lutein, because that's what helps trigger muscle synthesis as we get older. And then
it doesn't mean massive amounts. It just means you need sufficient amounts,
You
which
need
is
sufficient-
your 20 to 25 grams of smart protein with each meal.
And I'm a nerd about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a nerd. So every 3 hours, I have that sufficient amount of protein, because I'm like, I've got to get muscle. I've got to get muscle at this point, because that's my metabolic tissue, especially people who are not going to think about adding back bioidentical hormones. They even need to be more nerdy about it, because the muscles is what's going to
that's
keep
another
them
party.
insulin
But
resistant.
yes.
like
But you're
insulin
saying
sensitive.
20 grams per meal?
Well, 20 to 25, really.
And
But
what
3
is-
grams of lutein is the
but
trigger.
that's a whole nother
Okay,
party.
that's a whole other party. Okay,
Whoa.
so we're thinking of that.
But wait. But what
Do
does
you
that
think
look
that's
like on your plate? Like, is that a piece of
4 to
steak
6, 4 to 6 4 to 6 ounces. It's not a lot.
of meat?
Yeah.
Chicken?
Fish.
Chicken.
Yeah. 2 eggs and maybe half a cup of egg whites. Yeah.
Oh, 2 eggs.
But half
Plus-
a cup of egg whites. You need 3 grams
Or
of
you
lutein.
can add our optimized protein to
Yeah,
everything, which is what I
fantastic.
do.
Or get amino
I
acids. We're
optimize
coming
plant
out with the
protein.
best
I wanted to
amino
talk
acids,
about
and that's
that.
just a little bit. There's hardly any calories.
Because we're going to have a whole protein potty, you nerd. You're just ruining
no,
my
just
potty.
wait. Muscle. Okay, I'm just going to
Let's do
say.
it. It's ours now.
it's the greens and it's the berries and it's those foods with the micronutrients, right? We care about those.
Yes.
We care about sufficient, almost more than sufficient, gentle carbohydrates, because we're training, right? We're contending for that muscle, and we want to feel energetic, and that's something that puts the fire into our metabolism in this season. Gentle carbs, we don't miss out on them. We have to put them on our plate. And then
Yes.
we thought, okay, healthy fats, right? We've got to have those in there. We've got to celebrate that for
course.
hair, skin, and nails, so that we have a sheen to our skin, as we don't want to be dried up. No whiz and prunes
Turn
here.
into an old
So,
hag.
I mean, that's just the basics, right? Of what we need to contend for and what we think of when it comes to every meal. We're thinking, okay, which one of those are we going to stick in here? Pearl and I was saying, Pearl, we don't even have room for our THM treats.
Half
Not
the time.
let alone
We have to
cheats.
make a date for a treat.
Like, we go to the cafe once a month and we're like, we haven't had that for so much. Our days are so filled. I got my daughter who works at the cafe. She brought home some cinnamon rolls and some like lemon pie and some things, and she put it up in my room. And I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know when to eat them.
Well, that's
because
the
I'm
thing.
so filled with all the stuff I'm contending for.
And I'm addicted to
room.
our cookie mix, our Trim Healthy cookie mix. No, I'm telling you, it's the best.
Can you just eat it out of the bag?
No, well, no, you got to make it into a mix. It's so easy, but I love those cookies. But I've been thinking about them. Pearl, and like you, Serena, I'm like, when do I put them in? Because my meals are just so infused with the things like the protein, the greens, the carbs, or I have a fats meal. And so it's really about, Tiffany, it's not so much about, those off-plan foods that I could eat. It's really about, what do I get to put on my plate?
I want to know when she has time for the off plan, because I don't even have time, like I said, for the treats. So when do we have
Well,
time
you
for
see,
off plan?
it's mindset, because we're teaching Tiffany this right now.
Right.
Now, Tiffany,
Well,
you're saying, sorry,
You know, it's lifestyle. It's lifestyle too, because different settings, different people's work days. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't know if she's working,
But
et
I
cetera.
want to ask Tiffany a question.
And your
My
hand's
coffee
raised.
personality is really intense. But I want to ask you, Tiffany, what are your goals? Let's start with goals. Let's put goals out ahead of you, because goals are going to guide you.
and
what
we
are your
do
goals?
not mean a specific number for weight loss goals,
No.
because we're not about that.
What are your goals for health? What are your goals for body composition? What are your goals? Put that goal out there. you're not going to have time for off-plan foods
Mm-mm.
because
Well,
you've got a goal. You've got somewhere you're heading. You have direction. You have vision. You have it in your eyes. It's there before you. And it's like you don't have time for all this mucking around. I'm going to go pee.
Oh, that's a
boy,
good
she's
timing.
coughed it up.
When we come back, we're talking to Tiffany. Don't you go anywhere. We're
Okay,
back.
we're back,
worse than
Tiffany.
pubescents,
Tiffany,
man.
we are. You know what? Whoever that lady was,
We
she
also
was
chew
right.
on
We are
mic.
we're worse than prepubescent. I've just realized that.
There's a lot. Listen.
We should not have gotten our feathers ruffled at all.
No, listen. There's a lot of pros and cons in any relationship. Okay? Yeah, we might ramble. Yeah, we might talk over each other. But you know what?
What?
I'm glad you asked.
What? Is there a good coming?
We have information that nobody else has, people.
Amen, Dan.
We're getting you off
You want a
the
bite?
roller coaster.
Communal bite.
She tosses an apple. Arr.
Pearl, it's your turn.
No, I don't want your freaking germs.
We're getting you off the roller coaster that seems to define every area of your life.
Oh my goodness.
And you want to have relationships. And you want to be sane. But you don't want to hear the guff. Well, let me tell you something, people. You can't have everything.
Whew. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you.
Take a bite.
No.
You ain't on the team unless you
Drink
take a
from the
bite.
cup.
Do you know that she said? She actually didn't.
Drink it.
She actually didn't call me prepubescent. She
Bite.
said she said my prepubescent.
Bite.
Oh, you're
Bite.
not part of us.
Bite.
Oh,
Bite it, rough.
no, I don't want to. Okay, back to Tiffany.
Welcome to the Serenity.
Okay, Tiffany said, "Man, no one likes to hear us chew either."
It's a cooking show now.
Yeah.
It's fine in a cooking show, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's true.
Tacos of Mexico, and everybody
Mhm.
applauds. But on a podcast,
No,
it's
they're
a
like,
problem.
"Oh, get your greebly saliva away from me." Okay, so here we
Whatever.
go. So, so Tiffany said, "Then I want to address this too, Serena. I need you to do it. So I would like you to stop eating on that apple." And she said, "But," so she said, "So I'm pulling up my bootstraps and making myself sit down after I ate my meal on my newly set up back porch, which I love. Thank you for that. That was not too much
good
TMI. I
information.
liked the TMI there. And I will grab my THM notebook and plan every single meal out for the week. I've got something to say for this. Tiffany, pulling out your bootstraps it kind of has to be done when you first start something. And Ben has a name for it. And it is when you are doing something like you were supposed to and you're getting from a wrong track onto a right track. What's your name for it now, Ben?
Ben,
You
call
know?
it self behavior.
Yes, it's called behavior modification.
That's not a special proprietary
And it's-
phrase from Ben.
Okay, but
He's got a son called Poet. People, he comes up with the right words.
Yeah.
True.
The deep.
Okay.
The deep.
All I'm saying is that I didn't use it before Ben talked to me about behavior modification. Behavior modification is a good thing. I mean, sometimes people are like, "Oh, that's just behavior modification."
Ben, what's that special thing you get here in? Oh, a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unprecedented.
But it's a good thing for you right now, Tiffany, sometimes pulling up your bootstraps. But then after that, such time as you've kind of got into a little habit of something, it has to become love.
Mm.
Because if it remains pulling up your bootstraps, it won't remain.
Yes, you got to delight in this.
And how you do that is you
It's just-
think loving thoughts. You know how in a marriage, if you start thinking kind of dissatisfied thoughts, a little bit bitter thoughts, a little bit this and that, and
Serena,
oh,
the
he
camera's
didn't
on.
treat me
Oh, wait, no,
right.
but I have apple in my teeth. I just got to fix it,
Okay.
people.
Oh my
Sorry.
goodness.
Marriage and love. Pearl?
If you go there, you can really go there.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're like, and why did I marry him again anyway?
Pearl, you got into that once, remember? Because you had decided you were a hiker
I
and he
remember.
decided he wasn't a hiker.
Yeah.
And you were like, we
And
don't
then,
have
but
the
from
same
that
interests.
hiking, then everything that he ever did wrong in my life, I had a list and I could remember it.
Just because one day he decided
Yeah.
not to go on a hike like 12 miles up in the heat of Arizona.
But the point is, we cultivate good thoughts for our marriage, good thoughts for our spouse, right? If we don't, other thoughts fill our minds. I don't know. Maybe that's just me,
No,
but
it's
I
true.
do cultivate good
totes
thoughts
true.
about my husband. I decide to think great thoughts about him and our marriage. I think our marriage is awesome. And I like to think of it that way. Well, when we have to address something we do, we're not like perfect, but I love to think, really great thoughts about it. And it's going to be the same, Tiffany, with your journey, with your health journey. If you're thinking really encouraging thoughts to yourself, if you be your own best cheerleader rather than, oh, come on, I just got to do this now, I better buckle in.
It's like a delight when you have your goal set before you and you get to work on that goal, because then it's not a drudge. It's not somebody's giving you a job. It's though you have a passion and you have a purpose and you have something that's your dream and your goal. And when it's out there, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Tiffany, but you decided to do THM at the beginning because you have a goal. Obviously, you have a reason why you decided that what was working for you wasn't working for you, right? So you take this goal, this purpose, and you put passion and love behind it, like Pearl said. And these Olympic Games people, I one time I heard this podcast about how this one person was interviewing them, and I'm just kind of like going to do my own kind of paraphrase of this whole thing, but interviewing them said, so how is it like, I suppose it's, you guys are such disciplined athletes to get up at 4:30 in the morning and do so many hours of training, because these were the best of the best of the best athletes. And a lot of them answered and said, oh no, that's not discipline. That's my love, because I'm going for the gold, and that's what's going to get me there. And it was so interesting that the thread that ran through all of their mindsets was more of a delight, that they saw those things that got them to the gold as loves, because that was how they were going to get there.
So Tiffany, you don't have to do this. You get to do this. And that's the difference. You delight to do this. And it's the way you tell yourself. It's your self-talk. And then I do want to give you a really good tip. You say you're going to go and plan every single meal out for the week. Well, that to me,
it's drudgery.
That's hard. You're making it a bit hard.
Unless you're one that loves that.
Yeah, if you love that, then more power to you, because there's some people that jolly will love that and it brings them delight.
Or it's easier for some people.
A post-pubescent, they love it.
100%.
That's true.
100%. We're not bitter at all.
I could think of nothing worse than to do that for myself, but we're kind of different. Yeah. But I have these things called sweatpants meals, and we've had a whole potty on them. So if you could go back and find our potty on sweatpants meals, it would be so great for you, Tiffany. It's just like it's pulling apple out of her teeth.
You can't hide from the lens.
I just wish it wasn't there so I could.
That's the kit lens too.
My
you
goodness,
garbage pail kids.
this potty is going to seeking new lows.
In my teeth.
Seeking new lows.
Okay, go.
I would listen to that potty, and there we talked about I have about 7 to 10 meals at night. I only have 3 or 4 breakfasts, honestly, and about 3 to 5 lunches, and 7 to 10 meals. Probably less than that now that my kids aren't at home. Probably 5. I just rotate them. They're the ones I love. They do well for my body.
They're in the memory, right? You don't have to think about them.
I don't have to buy different ingredients. I think they're awesome, and I just place them on repeat. Yeah. And they're so easy. They take no effort, no stress.
I don't think I've ever made a casserole or any recipe. We wrote those recipes in the book and haven't made one since I printed them.
Well, some of them are, some of those are your sweatpants meals, like your Trimmy Best, your soups and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I haven't followed the recipe since.
No, right. But all I'm saying, you can find the ones in the book that are your sweatpants meals. Don't make it hard. Don't try a whole bunch of different recipes this week and have to buy a whole bunch of new ingredients and special ingredients. Just do what you know works for you. Okay, so my approach is so simple. I'm having oatmeal or quinoa for breakfast. I'm having some sort of sprouted bread for lunch, with lean protein on it, because I like to do 2 meals in the day.
Like what?
And
she puts protein in her breakfast too.
Yeah, I put my optimized plant protein with those. But for lunch, I'll do my lean protein. I usually saute up egg whites. I do my egg white trick with just nutritional yeast and salt and pepper, and I flip it. It's like a meat.
Oh, it's like a crusted chicken wing.
But you use a device that separates the yolk.
No, I pour egg whites off a carton, mate.
God. Oh, yeah. God made it so easy to do that.
God put them in a carton.
You don't need a machine to separate. You just go little tossle them.
Or I can do what are my other proteins? I love a pouch of tuna for my bread. I do sourdough bread. I buy it off Amazon. It's the Bavarian type. And then I do because I always do a salad at night. I do cultured veggies in the day. So I do some sort of sauerkraut. Mm-hmm. That's my veggie for my lunch. And I do kind of maybe a side of kefir, I don't know. Supper is pretty much almost always, with the exception of a couple of nights a week.
Your afternoon tea is always kefir.
a kefir bowl usually.
Afternoon snack, we call it tea
Yeah.
illustrate. Yeah.
Sometimes I change up, and that's when I like to put a treat in. Like if I do have cookies, the THM cookies or something, that's when I'll change up and do a treat, but then I need to get some protein. But my dinner, I just love huge S salads, like big S salads.
Big ass salads.
I said big S salads, but the prepubescent in me
T-shirts.
thought that you were
Big-ass
going to
salads.
pick up. on
Oh,
it.
Dan's going to make a t-shirt
Well, I didn't get it until you looked at me and was like, huh? Huh?
See the pubescent self of her? She had to get
prepubescent.
this.
Hey, you know what? Just to revisit that, the truth is I'm actually just joshing with you because it doesn't make me upset. It's actually a compliment because I had to break through my midlife crisis and become a child again.
Yeah.
I had to let go of my serious, like I was a contractor and butt kicking tough contractor. Nobody pulls the wool
You look
over
nothing
these
like
eyes.
that in your orchid T-shirt.
Orchid, is that what that is? Oh, the
or
purple.
something. Yeah, purple.
Very nice. I actually almost don't like this shirt.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few tees I own.
So you wear it on
But-
the potty.
Yeah, but I actually am not insulted by this person. And
It's funny that you keep bringing her up, though.
no, I just for the record, I just want it to be known that the old hag thing that was, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, and I should have said like sauerkraut when I heard you say sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
I thought,
Okay, so then at,
That was so ADD. When you said sauerkraut, it brought him back.
yeah, but at dinner, I'm having a lovely piece of salmon on my salad. I love some goat cheese. I like blueberries on it, or I'm having some chicken on it.
yeah,
Occasionally, I have a little
goat
beef.
cheese
It's so
and
easy.
blueberries.
It's like who can go wrong with that
My
lifestyle?
life is so
how easy is
simple,
that?
too.
Yeah.
I have every morning. It's either oatmeal with the optimized plant, or it's the full 3 grams of lutein eggs on my sourdough toast. And I cross everything over right now. So 2 pieces of sourdough toast, and I do 2 eggs with a half a cup of egg whites, or sometimes I'll just do the whole bloomin' stuff, whole eggs.
Hey, sorry.
I'm in the middle.
No,
Dennis.
you breathed.
Val, Des.
You took a breath, and that's
and
my
then,
cue.
And then mid morning 10:30 I have exercise, so I do my big like protein aminos drink
You don't
afterwards.
exercise every day, though.
No, but even if I go for a walk,
Yeah.
I mean at church it's the only day I do.
Do you
nothing
notice
but
her
sit.
coffee personality is much more aggressive?
Uh,
No,
Oh, he loves it.
it's because
We
I'm
share
sitting close
apples
to her.
together.
yeah, we're Apple friends.
You're not.
I
You know,
got forced into it.
I
No,
find
gooky.
You won't let
Serene!
me finish my. Yes, Dennis.
no, you go ahead. It's your podcast.
You go ahead, Dan.
no, you
I
go.
want to be.
All right, I'll go ahead. So anyway,
No.
Um,
No, let me
so
go.
I-
Let me go.
Okay.
Listen. I find the battle is won for me at the grocery store. I
Yeah.
just don't put it in the cart.
yeah,
Like it's so hard. If I put it in the cart, it's gonna get eaten at midnight in volumes. And so if that option just isn't there, I find I'm a much happier pubescent boy.
oh my goodness, we're 43 minutes in. I've got so much to address for Tiffany.
Okay, well, don't hear about my day then.
Can you do it in 30 seconds? Because mine was
No,
pretty
I just
Well,
let's
let
just leave
Serene
it. You
talk.
had a good example. Go for it, Pearl.
Okay, so I wanted to get back to this because we're going to make your meals easy, Tiffany. Now I want to address a couple more things. It's graduation week for my oldest, and I'm turning 43 on Saturday, so lots of emotions will be felt. My goal: feel the emotions, not eat them. Now I know what you're saying because a lot of people feel like they say to themselves, "I eat my emotions." And I don't want to step on toes here, but sometimes it's like the current cultural hip thing to do is like feel your emotions. If you're angry, feel them. If you're sad, feel them.
Hey, I agree with it.
The only thing we're allowed to feel is God's emotions.
Well, I'm
They're the
saying,
sanctified ones.
well, I'm saying, and I don't even know if Tiffany's a Christ follower. Perhaps she is, perhaps she's not. We've got all sorts following us of different faiths and stuff.
that's all sorts.
But I'm saying scientifically,
Mhm.
yes, we can feel our emotion. We know that we're emotional people. We're created to have emotions, and they're
Yes.
good. But when we allow ourselves to be dictated by them, that's when bad things happen because emotions actually change our cells. They are what we call epigenetic inspirers. They can switch on certain cells in our body and switch them off. So when we, of course, to cry or something sad happen, it's good. It's not good to bury.
Mhm.
But, I love what the Bible says, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. We are not supposed to stay in states of, depression or sadness.
It's not bad to mourn, but
No.
we it's good that we're going to be
Yeah.
comforted and move
So
out.
there is
of that.
sadness. Yes, it's okay to feel that loss of, your son's graduate. It's good to feel that. But then we have to look on, as they say, the bright side. It's such an old saying, but looking on the bright side is so important and fantastic for our health. So we're not going to bury things. We're actually going to put off sadness and put on gladness. And that is what
Get your hanky out. Hallelujah.
is so good for your health, Tiffany. So all that, I'm just bringing you another perspective of feeling your emotions, yes, but make sure the ones that you're feeling are really healthful for your progress, for your health, for your fantastic aging. You know, you're in your 40s now. You're probably on your way to perimenopause. And that's what I would say.
And you know what? It's okay to eat your emotions too. And I just want to
Yeah.
backlash that, because every time I eat with a lot of joy and excitement. And I suppose the whole thing was don't eat your emotions. Like if you're feeling angry, don't eat out of that.
Or
If you're
or
feeling
if
tense,
you're feeling
right. I agree with that.
It's like eating as a
But
replacement.
it doesn't mean
for the emotion.
I agree, and I see that point. But I
Yeah.
also want to encourage. It doesn't mean that we just have to eat numb.
No,
You know, and remove emotions and remove joy and remove I don't want anything a part of eating.
That's
Eating is
great.
separate. We can't separate, because the whole Bible is full of feasting and joy,
Yeah.
and eating is around celebrations, and eating is
and eating does give us endorphins. I mean, that's and what is it? Serotonin, all those things we've created to delight in eating.
I mean, do you wake up super excited about breakfast?
Always,
Oh, that's
always.
wild.
And
I
if
go
you
to bed
don't
super excited.
wake up
about
super excited
breakfast.
about eating, then my coffee personality is going to tell you, well, just wake up excited. Just tell yourself to do it, right, Leslie Pops?
I have to.
Because some people don't like
Well,
water.
I'm not
but
hungry
doesn't
straight.
mean they're not allowed to stay there.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm not hungry straight away. But I'm still excited at the thought of when I will eat. I wait a while.
Really?
Yeah, I know I'm not going to eat straight away, but I'm still excited that
Do
I
you
will
want to
get
taste
to
what
eat.
I've got here?
Yeah, what is it?
It was double fermented goat kefir, but then I added a scoop of amino acids.
I have
This
to.
mango
I
flavor.
think I just realized I have anxiety around breakfast. I
Okay,
didn't know it until this moment.
Because the idea of it.
Just that I'm like, oh, at some point I'm going to have to eat. I'm going to have to.
Something that you're
Is
gonna
that because
change.
you don't know kind of what you're having? Do you have 3 or 4 breakfasts in mind that you know are going to be so good for your
No,
goals?
I just have no food in
Okay,
mind. I just
so
want to race
That's
into
your
the
problem. So
day.
we're going to help you, Danny, right
Yeah.
now. What are your goals as you get older?
Yeah, what's your goals
For
to be a
your
big
health.
Dan?
I want to optimize my relationships.
No, I'm talking about your physical health. Your physical health goals.
Oh, I don't want to be ripped, but like Brad Pitt in Fight Club,
Okay.
I
Okay,
think.
so
So-
contend for muscles.
so-
That's
so
pretty,
that-
Pretty
ripped.
ripped. Maybe like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, and then we take the slider down to like 75.
Okay, so this guy behind you is going to help you out. You got to eat for a job, Dan. Eat for a job.
No, but he's going to have, how do we get him over the anxiety of it? It's the passion and the love. So once you have a goal, the things that you do for that goal, I kind of like Serene talked about the Olympians, they're the love. So when you get up, you think, oh my goodness, I get to
Build
fuel
my
my
muscles.
body with protein. I'm going to put some good carbs in there. And so you can look forward to that because it is taking you to a certain thing that you want for life. And Danny, I know you attain your goals. So I think this has been a little hump that you can get over because now you're going to love getting up because you're going to know what you're going to eat. If you have no idea, of course you're going to hate it.
Do you love eggs? You used to be one egg Dan.
Yeah, I could do 2 and 3
How about 4?
for sure.
Need at least 4 for you.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4
Or you can do
scrambled on
2
some
or-
really, really good, healthy, bread, a sourdough or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or you like potatoes. Always have some steamed potatoes in the fridge. I do golden potatoes. And then they take 2 minutes in a non-stick, healthy ceramic.
how do you ever make? So you
heat
chop
up.
potatoes up and then put it in a pan. Like,
Yeah,
what's an alternative?
Yeah,
to a
no, they're
microwave?
already cooked. They're already steamed. So they take literally 2 minutes to brown
You
up.
steam them in your pot.
like
and
the
then
night
they're
before or
always in the
Yeah.
fridge. They're always in the fridge for any meal you
When
want.
you say steam them in a pot, do you mean boil it in water?
No, steam. You get a little steamer. It sits in your pot. You put water in, and then the potatoes steam. They retain so much of their goodness.
How long
You
do
can
we
do it with-
steam it?
And just until tender.
Tender.
Like 20, 15
They
minutes.
see, because
Do
you
it.
want a carb at every meal
Yeah,
every
you do.
meal.
Yeah, I do.
Because
with your protein and with a
so
good
I would
fats.
get up and
Yeah.
potatoes and eggs are, oh my goodness, Dan, you would love that.
Oh, that's my jam.
so then
Yeah.
they're in
But
there.
I've microwaved the potato and
No, but
Yeah.
the crisp
I didn't
up
wanna
in
say it
the,
here.
in the they crisp up in the pan. It takes
Yeah.
exactly. I went to 2 minutes, but really it's 1. You put a little butter in that pan, you turn it to high, they're crispy, and then you've got your eggs. And that combination would be something for you to look forward to when you got up.
How do we know if it's time to close the podcast? Ben, do you have any magical device that determines the Earth's position around the sun? Oh, a wristwatch. Oh, okay, we're there.
I think, we need to go.
Yeah. Or prepubescents don't know when to go to bed, and don't know when to close.
That's part of my problem.
Yeah.
I don't go to bed.
Bye, people. Bye.
Nothing, mama, my way. And then I'll be nothing, mama.